Hey fam, it's your pal T. Yes, that's me with another video of the Fly Girl T at your service. Alright, so check this out. We are going to kick off behind the scenes of a barista. Okay, so this series is to help not only future Starbucks workers, like maybe you're thinking about working at Starbucks or you're getting ready to start. Also people who are past and present can maybe identify as well. But this is definitely to help new recruits or new hires, and it's just basically, because I'm learning myself as I go, and plus it might be enjoyable for people who maybe have been Starbucks employees or still are, and they might look back and maybe compare their journeys to mine, and y'all can fill me in with some stuff. But welcome. So I'm just going to really do my first video, which is talking about onboarding and training. Well, first of all, the hiring process, and maybe we'll kind of get into that, and then a little bit into the modules piece. You'll see what I mean about modules in a minute, and training, and then we'll save more things for other videos at a later date. But you'll see what I mean as we go, okay? But yes, so I just recently got hired at Starbucks. I got hired last month. I got hired on right now it's September 13th. I got hired after I went through the application process of applying, interviewing went really, really well. And basically my now manager, she gave me a hint basically during the interview saying, I don't see myself not giving you the position. But so I kind of knew, but I was like, oh my god. And she conditionally hired me once my references called back and everything. And then we went through the conditional hiring process. So just to do the background, normally they take like about 48 hours to clear. Everything came back okay. No, I didn't do anything stupid like rob a bank or something. So, or I didn't, clock somebody over the head and, something like that. You get where I'm going with that. So everything came back smooth. And so now I was waiting. She did say it would take a 2-week process to get everything together. And 2 weeks, they offered me an official offer. And now everybody's pay rate will be different depending on your state or your jurisdiction, wherever you are. I'm here in South Jersey, where Californians might be different, New York's might be different, Washington State might be different, Washington DC, wherever you are, your starting rate, it depends, especially if you get a raise or not. Like we happen to get a raise, so right around that time period. So check with your state to see what your minimum wage is, and also even ask your hiring manager. You can even ask someone too. They may tell you, maybe an employer or someone, hey, what is your starting rate or something like that. But I would typically ask your store manager, your hiring manager, what that's about. Okay, so we go through that process, and then it's the onboarding tasks. Now, mainly you do these at home. They kind of did it where you could save time. You don't have to come in and really do them. So your onboarding is like, okay, you've used separate hiring and some e-signatures and things like that, and they'll actually send you an email to let you know, and it's basically self-explanatory, and they walk you through it. Normally you make a login, like maybe when you're during the application process. Trust me, it's a lot easier this way. Just do that, and then it'll do all of that. Now for me, we had a bit of a snafu with the paperwork because they are going through a hiring crisis right now, where they're trying to really get people as fast as possible, but also a lot of people are leaving too, and it's especially with the times that we are in, everything's a little weird. So overall, but I just rode the wave and just was resilient through the whole thing. And at first I almost couldn't come in I lied. Okay, so I couldn't come in on one of the days because my onboarding, for some reason, my tax papers did not come through, like on their side, not mine. So that pretty much set us back a day for training, but it was good in a way because my car, my tire had issues, so maybe it was a blessing in disguise, right? So, and then once we finally got that straightened out, I filled out all my paperwork. It's like 20 tasks. Now, your tasks might be a little less or a little more depending, like I said, your state or jurisdiction and other things. So just do all your tasks, everything from your DD, your direct deposits, to your tax info, your, all your stuff, your citizenship, your I-9s, and also still keep that stuff on hand, like your DD papers and your ID for your I-9s. You'll see why. I didn't really necessarily need it my first day, but your place might be a little different, especially if you had trouble with your onboarding. Just talk to your manager at your leisure, right? But so I did all my onboarding tasks, everything I was supposed to do. They'll ask you questions, all that stuff, just to get info and stuff on you. And then, okay, you let your manager know. Like me, I keep in contact with my manager via text. We're close like that. Where some managers will prefer you, maybe you call the store. Some will say, okay, or you can email them back. Do it per their instruction. So I just texted her back and forth, like we're pretty cool. So like, she's like, okay, yeah, just text me if you need anything, stuff like that. Even if it's after hours, I go home. Like she's very good at like, getting back to you, at least on that front. So, all right. So now, once all that was done, my first day coming in. Okay, excuse me if I'm talking a little fast, but I don't want to be too long with these videos. You can even play me at slow speed if you want. So, my first day was actually the most painful and boring day. And anybody who's worked at Starbucks or is currently, or they're familiar, they know what I'm talking about. You have to do your modules. Now, what is basically your modules? Now, remember, I got all my training manuals and everything and, the safety stuff via emails. But the modules is just one big ass training manual that they break down in parts. It's kind of like a mini Starbucks course. Okay? Mine took over 5 to 6 hours. Oh, the sun is kicking, y'all. Hello. Hey. Sun kiss. Anyway, so mine took over 5-6 hours and it was painful because the iPad would sometimes be slow or it wouldn't work. So it was like, and sometimes it would make me repeat the tasks. Let me know, Starbucks folks, anywhere you are, if you had trouble with your modules and especially how it was functioning. Let me know down below. But yeah, it's pretty much a big ass training manual. So they go over everything from cleaning procedures to safety. A lot of that stuff is common sense. They go through also like when you make drinks and food and warming, all kinds of stuff that they cover. But let me give you a big ass hint. It's gonna go over your head. I promise. You're not gonna absorb all that in one day. No, and sitting there, it does nobody any justice. They have to do it as a formality. But oh, and I forgot to tell you. So before you even do all that, you get your partner number. So exciting. You get your partner number. Now, I think you find it out even when you're doing your onboarding, but they will give you a partner number for sure. They'll show you how to go through that and to log in. You'll create a login for when you clock in, all that stuff. And mine was a little wonky. Like for some reason, the pin was giving me a hard time. And shout out to anybody if you guys had any issues with that when you first started. Their tech stuff sometimes is a little wonky, but that's just the nature of the beast. So, all right, so after you do all that thing, you do your modules, you sit there for hours, and it's so damn painful. But some stuff I just skipped through, like, especially like the safety stuff. And they ask you little questions to make sure you're paying attention. But like I said, you're not going to absorb it very well half the time, right? So, but just like a lot of common sense, or some things you might pick up and remember. And hey, we'll talk about drinks and sizes of syrups and all that later on. But what you could do is sometimes record or take a picture of those measurements and things. You'll see what I'm talking about later. Okay? So then, and that's for another video. So once you do all that, just let your manager know, hey, I finished, blah, blah, blah. They let me go for the day. I just really came in and did my modules. And you can only do this on the Starbucks computers or iPads. Okay. And those iPads are there for you to clock in, do other stuff. And you can also use your manager's computer. And depending, your manager will let you use it if they're not on it. They let the employees do stuff on the computer. You know, if your manager's pretty cool like that, but just like I said, just follow your instructions per store. And yeah, that was the most awful part, I think. It was just in going through that, and then it's like it kept kicking me out of the system, and then it is boring. You have to watch videos and all that stuff, and they talk about things like what to do when an active shooter comes in, or an intruder, a robber, you know, even down to like cup sizes and where we get the coffee beans from, which was pretty interesting. And we might talk about those things later on too, and especially if you're a coffee enthusiast, that part might really enthuse you. But yeah, modules and stuff was not hard, but it's just okay. That's basically what it was. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop here. We're actually going to talk about the first actual training day where you apply what you learn. So I'm going to stop it right here, and then you guys are going to watch the next one, and I'm going to tell you about my experience with my first training day. And I'm going to go off of what I remember and the things that I've picked up and I'm still learning. But don't worry about it. It's your first day, your first time. And even after the training modules, they'll give you comfort and say, listen, it's going to go over your head, but you will be okay. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Remember to ring a ding ding so you don't miss a thing, and click, like, comment, subscribe, smash that subscribe button. Okay, you hit that little red button. Okay, listen, any way I can help you and you guys can help me, we're all family here. So yeah. All right, so this is me, the Fly Girl T. I'll see you guys in the next one. Behind the scenes.